this could be, clearly it will be, one, if not the highlight of the conference. And that's a fireside chat with John Chambers. So I actually did the opening or the review of prep. That's where I'm looking for, prep with John yesterday. He is so smart. He is so accomplished. He is such a business leader, knows these transitions, backwards and forwards. He has so many great insights that he's going to share here. Like we know that what's happening is that the AI era is going to be more disruptive than cloud and the internet combined.
Hey,
Who's
Nick.
going to speak first?
Me. I'm going to speak first. How are you?
Andrea, I'm so good. Actually really kind of psyched for like next week. So we're kind of in the home stretch, here. And so actually, I think this was like, it might have been your suggestion. Maybe it was mine. I don't know. Or somebody else's. But they said, why don't we do like a behind the curtain peek, of the agenda. So I thought, okay, well, we'll try that, and so give everybody an idea of how all of these conferences that we produce, and especially the summit, they're all, handmade, and they're all, a lot of attention to detail. It is a business of a million details. So
It is.
for
And
those,
I said to someone one day who asked me what I did, and I said, "Oh, I'm a conference organizer. We do 2 conferences a year." And they scoffed at me and went, "Oh, 2 a year." And I didn't realize at the time, like, what kind of they were thinking. And then I realized, they probably thought I just showed up 2 times a year and did a conference. And they don't realize it's like planning a wedding for 1,000 people 2 times a year.
yeah,
So there's a lot of the work that goes into the 1 week when we're on site at a conference that people don't realize how involved it is.
Yeah, well, you can really take it as a compliment, which is what I do now. It's like people just think it's like, oh my God, you just like, you just do this thing twice a year, and then you're kind of off gallivanting for the rest of the year. It's like, oh my God, what's really great about that is that since they have no idea and that they go and they have a good experience, it means we did our job. It's like,
Exactly. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. And they don't
it all came
see
together.
all the work that we put in. And I mean, honestly, even all the changes that happen, like we think we have something set and then I don't know, got to change direction and pick up something new or add something new in. But yeah, it's really,
Yeah,
it's a lot of work that goes up into next week, but next week is why we do it. It's worth it.
yeah.
It's exciting. It's fun.
Well, it's like, there's also a lot of stress in this. So there's stress in every job, but like we're going to talk about what we do right now. But and so my wife would always like say, it's like, why are you doing this? It's like, it's like there's just so much, you put so much on yourself, to do this. And I'm like, yeah, it's like when I'm in that, kind of leading up to it, it is kind of stressful, but then what I've found is that all of that stress turns into a feeling of achievement that I've never felt before after it's all done, and it goes off really well, and so I think
Right.
it's, that's the endorphin high, is that feeling of accomplishment and that you help the industry, by being able to convene all these people together, to talk
That's
about,
right.
this topic.
And now that we added a
So
wild after party, that really, helps us actually unwind, enjoy in a completely different kind of way.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to the after party. They have become fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then why don't we I thought what we probably do, and I said, if you suggest otherwise, we do that. But let's kind of take a look at the spreadsheet that we use to produce the conference. All right, so
Sure.
I'll tell you what I'll share, and then we can kind of talk through that.
Yeah, we pretty much start with a blank canvas, and as we move along and decide what the content will be, all these sessions get filled in. We use a lot of color coding because I like that. Makes it
Yeah.
easy to see where we are in the process with everything. So this is the sausage making.
Yeah, this is definitely the sausage making. So a couple of things. One, you'll probably see things in here that are not part of the agenda, because this is also where we, consolidate a lot of ideas. The other thing too is that I want to give everyone the accolades that are deserving, and that is the owning board provides a lot of input, into these topics. We go through this in pretty detail and get their, blessing, for it, which is really great. We also have co-chairs that spend a lot of time helping. So there is Tony Fernacci. I think everyone kind of knows Tony. There's also Phil T, who did Moogsoft, that got bought by Dell, and now he's over at Zscaler, head of AI innovation. There's also Andy Brown. Andy is a legend in our industry. He's been CTO of a couple of the largest financial institutions. He's heavily into VC right now, but he is probably one of the people I respect the most that has the ability to kind of take technology, IT technology, and turn it into business value creation. So Andy is there. Neil Anderson from WWT is another, co-chair. He has been fabulous, just really great to work with Neil. And I think what WWT brings is they have they're independent, they have a massive lab. They talk to lots and lots of consumers. A lot of the people in our community use WWT as well. So a real natural fit there. And so that relationship has been really great. And Neil has been a real blessing, to have. And then Alex Schulman. Alex didn't wasn't able to work with us on this meeting. She just took on a new CISO role, but hopefully she'll be back. If her schedule permits. Okay, all right. Let's see. So I thought, so just to give everyone an idea of what you're looking at. So obviously this is a Google Doc, and we have kind of the columns D, G, J, and M, and P. Those are the tracks that we create, and then the column B is really kind of main stage kind of stuff. So I thought maybe what we do is just pick out a few of the things that we're really excited about, and then really looking forward to, and then kind of close it down from there. Andrea, what do you think?
I think our content is outstanding. We start our day on the main stage with our keynotes. We have Sean Finnerty from Merck back with us. He's spoken at our event in the past, so it's great. He's giving a keynote for right after you. Of course, you kick us off. So then Sean, and then we have Kevin Deerling from NVIDIA. So that'll be really great. So our morning just runs straight through with presentations from industry leaders. And then we go right into a panel session, which is another terrific way to get different perspectives from each of these speakers on a real important industry topic.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one great summary, there. And I think what you'll get from the morning, and this morning is the really important part. This we got to nail the morning day of, and I think we do. So I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I think the keynote that I put together, I think, is a culmination, integration of a lot of the conversations we've been having. And I think what the industry consumers need to do to get their companies prepared, because they don't have much time to get prepared. So hopefully this will help accelerate Sean's a really good friend of the community. He's kind of VP of Cloud and Infrastructure, and also has been heavily involved in Merck's $100 million or so AI project. So he's going to share that. And then Kevin Deerling over at NVIDIA. So it's really great to have Kevin involved, and also Brian Gilbert is going to join him. Brian is the CTO over at WWT. So we're a key part of this discussion is going to be about the reimagining and rethinking of networks and security for the AI era. So I think that session in particular is going to be stellar for that. And then there's going to be another great. So Brian's going to stay on the stage, and so is Kevin. And then Eric Powers, who is a newly minted board member, is going to come up. Morali from Cisco, and then also Par Boats from Pure Storage. So really nice, eclectic group to really just talk about. I think one of the key operational issues, challenges, opportunities in the AI era, and that is really how does, in particular, Gen AI help with kind of network capacity, topologies, resiliency, so it's a very network practitioner point of view. So we really go from a very, kind of high level view about kind of the need to move towards this controlled agentic model and what that means to the infrastructure. Kevin or Sean grounds us with reality and use cases. Kevin talks about the advancements that NVIDIA are bringing and the innovation NVIDIA is bringing, especially in the networking space, and then from a practitioner point of view. So we get more granular as the morning goes on. All right. Anything else?
No, that's our morning. It's jam packed. We will take a break after that. Then before lunch, we're going to do we have our lunch break.
Yeah.
Then we'll move into our midday keynotes, which are it's our community, our sponsors, talking about what they're focusing on, and again, real world solutions.
Yeah, so these, so I want to let me address that, and then I want to go back to one thing. So these are kind of the midday keynote sessions, and these are how some of our partners have partnered with their consumers to deliver solutions. So this is like really this came from our board, this format where they want to understand, okay, what was a use case that a company was struggling with that they had to address. They went through an evaluation process, and then they wound up working with a company to solve that problem. And then what does that partnership look like? And then what was the outcome? So that's what these are really all about. So one thing about this community, it's a very peer permission structure, right? So everybody learns better from each other than from hearing what some analyst has to say about a topic, or hearing, it's not a bad word, but a pitch, from a vendor. So this is really about how these two partners, worked and solved the problem. So anyway, so we got some really great ones. Fortinet, is doing one. Riverbed is doing another one, and Zscaler is doing yet another one. So these are really super. And then we're in. So the day before, so we kind of skipped over this. The day before, we're running these executive workshops. So these are exclusively for IT execs. So we're doing one on kind of the dawn of quantum. What's really important about this is there's a lot of kind of password harvesting that's been going on in the hopes of when quantum comes on board, everyone can crack those passwords, and then all of a sudden we're major exposures. So what can you do now? And so there's a great kind of executive discussion, about that. And then, we have James Beeson, who's kind of the acting CISO over at Pfizer, and Sean Finity over at Merck, and Mark Rushing over at Citi. They're going to host a discussion about AI and what they're seeing, the use cases that are really working for them, how they're dealing with the need that they're getting from their business unit managers around driving AI into their infrastructure. So these are not presentations; these are roundtables. So you come and you have a discussion, and they're not recorded. There's no vendors, it's really a great way to kind of interact with your peers. So anyway, wanted to kind of get that, and then I think on for the rest of the days, and then we kind of break out into breakout sessions, and so we have these four, actually five, six, sorry, six tracks. That's why we're a lot of tracks. So like almost 55 sessions, going on. So we're not going to go through all of these sessions in particular, but I think I want to point out two things. One, there is the WWT track. That's the track that WWT is done with us. And then there are also workshops. So there are workshops that are happening. They're happening on both days. Huh? I thought it was mostly for day two, right? Both days?
Day one are the more collaborative sessions.
Oh, yeah, workshop collab. Yeah.
Right. And then day two are the straight on workshops.
Okay, great. Yeah, I got confused saying workshops twice there. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So anyway, we're not going to dive into all these, but all these tracks kind of align with security or automation, AI infrastructure, networking security, and so forth. And
like Witt said, it's very peer oriented. So these sessions can be very interactive. We like the audience to get involved, and it's a more intimate setting than, say, the main stage. So everybody comes together, here's a discussion, and is more than welcome to jump in.
Yeah, perfect. Great. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's like we don't want you just sitting there.
Right.
That's kind of boring, So we want you to kind of like mix it up, with everyone. One thing before kind of I leave day zero, there's a Sonic Pavilion at this meeting, and we believe it's going to be the beginning of something much bigger. A lot of companies are now using Sonic to create what's called a fat and flat architecture to support their traditional AI applications or IT applications, and then also AI. So that's like eBay, Target, Walmart, and many others. And so this is the beginning, I think, of what we're calling a secure data fabric, where Sonic, is one example of how to build that. And so there are sessions that you can take advantage of, on day one for that. And then also there's a pavilion you can actually understand and see a lot of different sessions also. There was a test that was done, interoperability test that was done, and that's going to be on display during the day also. Okay, and then we're come back, for day two. Oh, God, I keep on forgetting. We have a reception on the end of day one, but also there is the AI Networking Awards. So there's a competition for awards. So the Best of Show awards happen at around 5:45, and so we give out awards to companies, good amount of judges, and so forth. Okay, let's see. Andrea just lost her internet, so I'm going to kind of continue along as we go. So day two is we kick off with James Beeson. He's a CISO over at Pfizer. He's acting CISO. He's been acting there for a long time. He thought it was going to be shorter, but not so much. And then Peter Campbell from Cigna is going to do a fireside chat with James. This is going to be so great. So this is so obviously Pfizer is heavily invested in AI, just as Merck has, in order for drug discovery and improving the human condition. So James is going to talk about that. So they have a good 45 minutes to really kind of dive in into that. Then we move into kind of a more of a panel session, and it's really about the state and the future of enterprise AI. So this is really going to be run by Phil T. So it's really talking about kind of agentic and what are the biggest use cases that are getting the quickest return on investment, that are that groups can gain trust with the technology. They can train their people with the technology, and do that in kind of a non-risk, a high risk way, and then also just get some good feelings of some successes and wins underneath their belts. So that's going to be a really great discussion. We have Darian Thomason from Arista. He is their VP of Customer Engineering, so he's been interacting with a ton of different companies within our community. James Beeston is going to come back for that, and then Phil T is going to moderate that discussion as well. So then we'll take a break, and then we're going to come back for like actually a little quick hit. So Tony Finaccio is going to moderate a quick little panel on MCP. So MCP is kind of like the new open standard around agentic, AI that enables agents to communicate with applications and to various different tools and so forth. It is one of the foundational pieces of technology that is being kind of developed within the industry, and it's catching on like fire. Like actually, Microsoft just announced that MCP will be supported on all Windows workstations. So anyway, so MCP is a big deal. So we're going to spend some time talking about that. We actually, John Capobianco, at the same time frame, is doing a workshop on building your first kind of Gen I RAG. And most of that discussion is going to be around MCP. So MCP, big deal, and we're going to start talking about it here. That's going to actually lead into a really great, discussion around AI and network automation. So, kind of like where those two meet. So that's going to be a discussion with kind of Network to Code. Brad Haas and Matthew Schwen from Humana is going to be talking about that. Then this is like actually, I think, I don't want to diss any of the other speakers, but like I think this could be, clearly it will be one, if not the highlight of the conference, and that's a fireside chat with John Chambers. So I actually did the opening or the review of prep. That's where I'm looking for, prep with John yesterday. He is so smart. He is so accomplished. He is such a business leader, knows these transitions, backwards and forwards. He has so many great insights that he's going to share here. Like we know that what's happening is that the AI era is going to be more disruptive than cloud and the internet combined. I totally believe that. The other thing John is saying, with that disruption, by 2030, maybe only 30% of the Fortune 100 will be around. Not around, but like will be in that club, right? So it's like there's going to be a reordering of the companies and really the demark is how much you're embracing AI versus not. So anyway, really great discussion with John. So looking forward to that. And then we're back into the breakout sessions. So we have the workshops, as I mentioned earlier. We have a WWT track. We have all of these super great sessions in the various different theaters around automation, infrastructure, networking, and security, and so forth. And then we're going to kind of close out with a party at the Pegasus City Brewery. So we have a band that's coming into that. But more importantly is that if you play an instrument, you can join and play along. So you got to just know a song. So I may play a few songs, join in if they'll let me. As long as I think I'm good enough. I turn my amp down enough, I think they'll let me play. So I think that's what we got.
Great. You were great. You're great as the leader of the Onug band.
Yeah, that's funny. Welcome back, Andrea.
Thank you. Yeah, internet.
Yeah, what can you do? So I think that's. I think I went through everything. Is there anything else you wanted to kind of mention? In terms of the agenda.
I just want to mention too, during our afternoon sessions, that's when we have our Triple T presentations. So those are quick, informative. Everything is a tool, a technique, or a technology. So definitely, we love to have people, sit in on those. The other thing is that we do put this out online. So if you're watching, you're watching this podcast or listening to us, and you think, oh, I'd love to go, but I can't get there, plug in online. So it's another way to experience all of our great content.
Yeah,
And the
that's
other thing
that.
is, I know it's all the work we do, but we couldn't do it without our team. And
That is
between
for sure.
Nick and Tony leading the content, and Bill managing all the event planning, and what he does throughout the year is amazing. And Joanne and Rachel and Brianna on our marketing team, and Eric and Paul, Scott, Jeanette. What would we do without Jeanette, who stays
Hmm.
behind the scenes but runs basically the world? So
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's we got to give a shout out to all of them, because they are the people that really bring all of these pieces together.
awesome. That's great. Thank you for mentioning everybody, Andrea. Super important. You're right. We couldn't do it without really great and super great staff. So the I think the only thing I wanted to kind of mention. Going back to the triple T's are really important. We do those in partnership with our sponsors. And what we've all agreed is that these are 10 to 15-minute kind of demonstrations. And when you go into them, you're going to learn a new AI tool, a technology, or a technique that you didn't know before. Hopefully, you didn't know before. So the bottom line is that you'll get to walk away with something that you can bring back to your work environment as soon as you get there. So I think I just wanted to kind of mention that, and I think that's it. I think that's all we got. Just want to thank our sponsors and make sure you spend a lot of time with the sponsors. Registration is through the roof, so we're running pretty close to 2.5 times, 2.5x that of last year. So it's going to be a busy 2 days, and we want you all to enjoy it. Okay.
Yeah, see you in Dallas.
Yeah. See you in Dallas.
Yep.
All
Bye,
right.
Nick.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Andrew.